Hey, this is Carlos GGS from Guitar Guide Secrets. I want to take a quick moment today just to do a little different. I want to show off one of my guitars, one I'm particularly proud of. Hey, I wouldn't show you the junky ones, right? This is a Suhr. It was like a type of guitar that I really wasn't even aware of until a couple of years ago for their kind of their higher end model guitar, if you will. But again, when it comes to guitarists and their guitars, hey, we will pay for it, right? My first guitar was, I think, $100 Hondo back in the day when those were still being made. I think it was a Chinese or Korean type of guitar. It was cheap, but you know what? It was easy to get, and they were inexpensive, and it got me playing guitar, so you cannot argue with that. Anyway, this is probably the other end of that. It's a more high-end, expensive guitar called a Suhr. Now, I don't know if it shows up well in the light here, but it's also got a nice, very cool paint job. And that was one of the things that attracted me to it, believe it or not. Yes, I know, it's totally superficial, but I was in the market for a Suhr after I learned about their quality standards, about what these guys put into their guitars. I knew I had to have one. You know, it's just one of those things. If you're going to go out and buy yourself a luxury car or a BMW, well, if you're in that mindset for a guitar, a Suhr is probably the way to go. And Suhr is spelled S-U-H-R. Go online, look up at some of the models. I actually got this one on eBay, brand new, mind you. I didn't want to get a used one, but I found it on eBay with this particular finish, which I have not seen anywhere else since, which is kind of cool. I might have liked a more mahogany finish on the fretboard, but what are you going to do? This is a really fine guitar, really nice guitar, and really one of the few guitars that I have not had to put a whole lot of work into once I got it. Typically when I get a guitar, the very least I'm going to change the string gauge because I play with a lot lighter strings. I think I've mentioned that I play with Ernie Ball 8s, which is 8, 11, 14 on the high 3 strings there, on the high E, B, and G strings. So I knew I had to change that out, right? But really, nothing else on this guitar with the exception of the bridge pickup. I play pretty much exclusively on the bridge pickup. I just figure I can get most of the tone I ever need from it. And I know it's kind of an Eddie Van Halen-ism to do that, but it's all I've ever needed. I've never really had a need for the bridge or the neck pickup. So what I typically do is, if I don't disconnect the actual neck pickup, I usually leave them in if I can, but I always change out the bridge pickup. And in this case, I gave it a Seymour Duncan. I think it's an SH5, which is a fairly, it's one of their just middle-of-the-road pickups, but it's a high-gain pickup, and it just has such consistent clarity, tone, and sound to it. It's been pretty much my go-to pickup. I love DiMarzios. I love almost all pickups in general. I have a couple of Seymour Duncans, Dimebag Darrell pickups as well. Those are really good, very dirty sounding and extra high gain. But these, the SH5, they're just something about them that just gave this particular tonal quality, and it's consistent every single time. And this was also where I realized, since the only thing I changed out was the strings and the pickup, how much difference the actual electronics of the guitar make on your overall tone. It has a very distinct tone to it. Whether we realize it or not, even when you have your tone turned all the way, I don't want to say up, but to, you know, clear without dropping out any of the frequencies, and you've got your volume turned all the way up, your guitar is still being modified. Your tone is being modified by the electronics itself, okay? So you got to keep that in mind, and of course numerous other factors on the guitar. And this guitar just seemed to have a very unique quality to it. Just figured this would be a good opportunity to show off the guitar to you, give you an idea of the quality of the workmanship. Also, it's got it's a bolt-on neck. It's not a straight-through neck. Straight-through means that the neck itself is part of the body of the guitar, whether glued or carved out of the same piece of wood. In this case, it's bolted on, and it has a particular bolt arrangement that is supposed to be obviously more stable and more particular. But it's that style. I can't say enough about the guitar. I pretty much buy 24 fret guitars just because I like that ability to see the complete second octave, if you will, because the first octave is from 1 to 12, as you may or may not know as a guitarist, and the second one being 12 to 24. A lot of guitars come between 22. Some, you know, obviously Fenders come with 21, which I would find extremely limiting, and that's why I don't typically buy Strats. But I love it on a superstrat if I can get at least 24 frets, because then I can have two complete frames here of notes that I can play with and see, not only in my mind's eye when I'm visualizing scales, but just the ability to go up there. I mean, very rarely do I actually find myself on the 24th fret, but knowing it's there and being able to mentally picture the patterns and scale patterns there is important to me. There you go. I highly recommend it. A Suhr is probably one of the best purchases you can get in terms of a guitar. Their Telecasters, from my understanding, are second to none. They're Telecaster copies, if you will. They also have a very their own version of the tremolo. This is called a Goto, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Gotoh, which is a variation on the Floyd Rose floating tremolo. It's an excellent tremolo, by the way. Very, very stable, very, very responsive. I've never had any problems with this guitar, pretty much at all, ever. I love it, and I can't recommend it enough. So there you go, little product spotlight with the quality of Suhr guitars. And if any of you are wondering, Carlos, how much did it cost you, man? To the best of my knowledge, this guitar was in the range of, I believe it was $4,000. Yeah, it was not cheap. But you know what, as they say, you do get what you pay for. And this guitar is probably my most, it's the one I go to. If I'm going to grab a guitar and just play, this is one of the ones I pick up pretty much right off the bat, because I know exactly how it's going to feel. Always feels good, always plays good, always sounds good. So there you go. Got any questions about this guitar? Anything you like? Go ahead, comment below. And I expect to see you back again soon. If you want to get more cool stuff like these videos, down there in the corner, you see that? GuitarGodSecrets.com. Go there now. Sign up. It's so easy. Get on my newsletter. Get the free stuff I've got for you. Yes, I've got a very cool free little giveaway for you. It's a lesson on the #1 guitar hack, practice hack, that you can use to speed up your learning and get better faster. That's what I'm here for. This is Carlos GGS from GuitarGodSecrets.com. We'll be talking again soon. Live to play, play to live.